Welcome to FLoAD Conversations, where today we will discuss Herstory, Black Queer Women in Business. We're elated to have you join us this month of March, which is Women's History Month. And we're so glad to see you in the place. I'm gonna ask you to take a moment and like and share so that others can join the conversation. And feel free to send us messages in the chat. The topic today, again, is Herstory. We're going to talk about Black queer women in business, and these Black queer women are actually life partners. This is sponsored by LGBT Faith Leaders of African Descent, which is an organization that helps LGBT folks overcome faith trauma, connects folks to resources, and we have conversations about issues that are relevant to the LGBT BIPOC communities. Today, we have two guests. They are Nichole Fraser and Vonne Williams, who, as I said before, are life partners. Two Black women who are in business making things happen in this world. Welcome today. Welcome, Nichole and Vonne. We're elated to have you with us.
How you doing, Ryan? We're happy to be here.
Hi, Ryan. Thank you for having us.
I'm great. Thank you. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself to our constituents and our audience. If Nichole, you would start by giving us a little bit about who you are and your background.
Okay. Well, my name is Nichole Fraser, and I came over to the United States, of course, with my immigrant parents from Jamaica, and they opened their restaurant business, and I was brought up in the industry, in the food industry, and the full of life, color, and that's what my business is around, rooted in culture. We do catering and floral design services, and I just love bringing people together for intimate moments that we shared with our family and within our culture. So yes, that's me.
Thank you. And Vonne, if you'd introduce yourself and your background as well.
Sure. Yes, I'm Vonne Williams. I am a business and money coach. I'm also a tax strategist. I am all the way from North Carolina. And I got into the business when the market crashed back in 2007, the housing market. And I found myself without a house. So in coming back and getting myself together and talking with other people, that's when I began to have the conversation. And I decided that, hey, I think I can, teach other people how to do this, how to not find themselves in my position. And as, time went on, and I learned, different things, I got into taxation and accounting. And, now I specialize in supporting entrepreneurs, small businesses, independent contractors, gig workers, in creating wealth using the tax law. I also help them with their investments and eventually all of us becoming business owners. There's a difference. And I really, really, really enjoy my work. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. I will just say, I kind of have connections with both of you. First of all, my mother's side is from the Caribbean. I'm from St. Kitts. And then I have a background in wealth management, and I've done consulting for many years. So I love having you in this space and already feeling that there's a connection. Absolutely. And for our audience, I did not introduce myself, but today we have two moderators. First, I am RJ Love, and I am a board member of LGBT Faith Leaders, and I have a board member, Sue Webley, who is also going to, she's a co-moderator, who is a board member of LGBT Faith Leaders of African Descent. And Sue is an entrepreneur also. And before we start with the questions in my little intro, I'm going to ask, can all three of you say the names of your business? Let's go ahead and start with Vonne, followed by Nichole, and then Sue.
Awesome. So I have two businesses actually. So the business and money coaching business is called Activate Increase. And the tax business is Tax Bar Services.
And tell our listeners your website, just in case they need your services.
Okay, so you can go to VonneWilliams.com, www.VonneWilliams.com. And from there, you can find the coaching, the consultations, the taxation, anything else, all things financial. At my website, it points to all of my businesses.
My business is Rooted in Culture, and you can find me at www.rootedinculture.com.
And Sue.
So yeah, I'm okay. Wait, I'm here doing double duty. This is what happens when when you're also engaging with the audience, right? So I wanted to make sure that I get Vonne's website and also Nichole's website in there. So I will add Nichole's in a minute. But I am Sue Webley. I'm the founder of Cara Solutions, and Cara Solutions is a service brand that offers administrative business and consulting services to other small business owners, to social entrepreneurs, faith-based and community-based organizations. And so one of the reasons I'm so giddy is because the individual that played such a role in me starting my business is joining us tonight. And I'm just like, yes, I'm totally stoked that Vonne is here and that Nichole's here. But yeah. Vonne is the one that really, that made me believe that a Cara Solutions was possible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes. I will have to say, as a Black male, I just encourage everyone to support Black-owned business. I'm going to say that. I encourage everyone to support Black-owned business. Keep the money in our communities. This helps us create wealth, and we also reinvest in our communities. So this is one of the best things to do if you want to build and support your community. Support Black business. Happy Women's History Month, as I said before. This is a month we celebrate and showcase Black LGBT women and their businesses. We hope that this will inspire our constituents and followers so that you, too, can succeed in entrepreneurial pursuits despite your marginalized status. Many within our community find it difficult to secure jobs, face housing insecurity, and widespread discrimination. Following our dreams and passion can not only lead us to better financial futures, but also empower us to invest in our collectives, our communities. So during today's conversation, we will explore our guests' challenges to business ownership, how their spiritual practice plays a role, and their hopes for the future.
So thank you so much, Ryan. I think at the beginning we've kind of already established what the businesses are, right? So that was going to be the first question, but I think we've already established it, and so I think we can move forward into the second one, right? And so I'm going to allow Ryan to go ahead and ask that question, and then we'll continue our conversation from there.
All right, this question is for Vonne. When did you start your businesses and why? What was the motivation?
I've always been entrepreneurial. There has always been something that I had in my purview that I could hustle. So when I was a kid, I used to make these little arts and crafts, and I would sell them. But that's where I got my first lesson in accounting. My mom happened to be an accountant for years and years and years and years and years. So she gave me money. She took me to the store. We bought the material. I made these things. I sold them. She helped me sell them. And then when I got my first piece of change, she took her money back. Okay. So that was my first lesson in uh, income, profit, loss, and cost of goods sales, cost of goods sold. And it messed my head up because I was with all this money, and then all of a sudden, like half of it is gone. And she's like, okay, now if you're going to continue, you got to take what you have. We got to go back to the store. You got to buy what you need. Okay. And then you make your, whatever you're making, and then you go ahead. So, again, I've always kind of been entrepreneurial. I celebrate my 20th year in business in 2022. So, my first business was technology. I was in audiovisual and IT. Got a little older, and couldn't do that anymore. Swinging from the rafters, hanging lights, and crawling around on the floor, and hauling speakers and all of this. Wear and tear on the body didn't kind of work out. Got thrown into bookkeeping and accounting at a not-for-profit that I had started. And that's kind of how my journey went. I love talking about money and how it works. I love talking about taxation and how the tax law benefits people who are in business for themselves, be it an independent contractor, gig workers. You started a small business, you have an LLC, or you have an S corp, or whatever the case may be. And yeah, that's kind of been my journey. It's been a lot of bumps and bruises, but I love it. I love it. I mean, I could sit here and say that I'm a very bad employee. I probably shouldn't say that, but no, I just like working for myself better.
Thank you. Thank you. Nichole, when did you start your business and why?
So, I was with my last company, that was Eli's Manhattan, and I started there in, I want to say 2000 2006. And I came in as a part-time worker, and I was there for another 15 years. And I realized that I wasn't getting any younger, and things that I wanted to express or uh, uh, implement different ways of doing it or change would wouldn't land the way I wanted it to land. So I came from a family of entrepreneurs, and I just came to the point where I just wanted to do things my way and not worry about how it looked or how it came across to corporate America or uh, anybody in my industry, which was predominantly um, white. And I decided in 2017 that I was going to open the business. I've been through probably 4 different names because I didn't know, I had no idea what it was going to be. I jumped in faith and just was like, I am talented. I have the hands and I have the brain to do creative things. And I have been successful until now. Why can't I do it on my own? And 2018, I established a name and got the LLC and got the bubble guts instantly and gave him my resignation.
I think we probably lost sound on your end. So I don't know what happened. Can you still hear us? Just give me a thumbs up if you can still hear us. Okay. All right. So I'm not sure what happened to your sound because we can't hear you anymore. Let's see. Okay, unmute yourself and try again.
Can you hear us now?
Yes. Okay,
Yes.
good.
Yes. So after I established, given in my resignation, and I left in December 20.
Nope, we lost it again. I'm not sure what's happening. Yeah, so this, technology. Yeah, unmute yourself and see if you're back on again.
Can you guys hear us now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, perfect.
Yes. So we heard about your resignation.
And yes, the resignation,
Yeah.
and we went straight on a cruise. It was well needed. I needed to.
Yeah, I don't know what is happening with our sound, but listen, this is technology. This is what we have been dealing with and getting used to, particularly since 2020. It is not an exact science, and so we both thank you for your patience. Those of you who are watching with us right now, we thank you for your patience. And so I'm going to ask that Nichole and Vonne go out and come back in and see if that fixes the issue. How about that? Okay, so go ahead out and come back in.
We figured out what it was. So
what was it? Okay.
It was the mic just kept on trying to connect back to the computer.
All right,
so
good.
Yeah.
If this
Great.
sounds, we'll go with it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So yes, thank you so much. Did you have a comment to that, Ryan, before I go into the?
I heard about the resignation and the cruise. I wanted to hear the end of that. So if you could finish the story.
Yes.
Yes. So I gave him my resignation and I went on a cruise, and then I came back, and I was already kind of working with the company. I was always a freelancer. So I worked with different people, and the customers and clients that I did have, they just insisted on following me, some of them. So it was quite easy to figure it out, I also became an Uber driver because a girl likes plan B. Hello. So I think people think being an entrepreneur is glamorous a lot of the time, but really what it is making sacrifices and understanding that you work for yourself now, so you have to find means of income and how to do that and how to be creative while still owning your time.
Lovely, lovely. I'm so happy that you also mentioned driving for Uber, because one of the ways that we establish wealth and are able to support our businesses is by doing other things on the side. So it's wonderful to have multiple streams of income until we get where we want to get, but still have maybe more passive, move from an active streams of income to passive streams of income. So thank you both for sharing how and why you started your businesses.
Awesome. So one of the things that I know about us as particularly as As Black women, we're gonna use what we got to get what we need. I love it. I love that we are just. It is just innate in us to be uber resourceful, right? And
Yep.
so while other people, one of the things that came up for me while you were both speaking is that so often while other people are stressing out, how we gonna make ends meet, this and that. Not that we don't have worries, but we will find a way to get what we need. So whether it's Ubering, whether it's cooking a meal, whether it's offering some type of whatever it is, we will find a way to get all those raise the rent parties. I'm aging myself now, but right, we find a way to get what
Right.
we need, and I love that. I love our resourcefulness as Black women. So either one of you can answer this question. What have you learned about yourselves? What are some of the things that you've learned about yourselves during your entrepreneurship journey?
Well, I'll say that, and I'll piggyback off of something that you just said about us finding a way. The reason that I love working with entrepreneurs, like entrepreneurs are my target audience. Give me somebody who works for themselves, be it whatever it is that they do. They're actors, they're, florists, Uber drivers, whatever, because we get kicked in the teeth every day. But we are the most resilient people on the planet. We entrepreneurs are the most resilient on the planet. If nothing else, we want to see whatever vision that was that we got, that idea. We want to see that thing through. We want to see it to its highest potential, to fruition, whatever you want to call it. But we want to see it through. So whatever we got to do to get there, we're going to do that. If that means that we miss a few meals, we miss a few meals. If it means that, the meals that we eat are not the healthiest, but they're the cheapest, that's what we're going to do. And so what I learned about myself is that, my goal, as long as I can get to have the freedom that I want, as long as I get to work with the people that I want, as long as I get to help other people see their dream come true. So, I've always thought that, I was a procrastinator, a bit of a quitter, but it's not that. I learned that I just kind of go at my own pace. And I do things, I'm very methodical in the way that I do things, but I don't quit and I don't give up. Now when I get to the finish line, I might be broke up, no teeth, broke legs, everything, but I'm going to get there. I'm going to get to the finish line by hook or crook. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Nichole?
Yeah. The thing that I learned about myself the most is how much I know this is such a cliche word, but how much I am an empath and how much my work really thrives on good feeling. And that, for me, that means that my client that I meet, that energy has to match. And that actually encourages me to thrive at the 125 or the 150 that I give. I feel like a lot of times when I was in a 9 to 5 or I was working for someone else, you're forced to do business with any and everybody. And I didn't like it. There was times that I wanted to say no, but I couldn't say no. And there are some people in business today that will say, well, you can't tell your clients no. You can't refuse clients that want to work with you. It's money. That you're going to make money. But what I have found out because of my faith is that Don't worry about the money. Worry and put, don't worry about the money at all. Put the energy and the creativity in what you are building, and the money will come. The clients will come. Who you are, people see initially, and they get that vibe from you. So you will always attract your tribe or the people that you need to work with.
That's so good. That is so good. I mean, that's even really blessing me, right? Because it's something that I do have to remind myself, in that aspect. Like whatever you need, it will come. It will come. And so, no, you don't have to take on every client, right? So just like relationships, right? Clients are also equally yoked, right?
Exactly. Absolutely.
You can't work with everybody.
Mhm.
You can't work with
Everybody,
everybody.
everyone is not your client, and that was my biggest lesson. Everyone is not your client, and I think as soon as I understood that, everything just it was like a piece of puzzle. It just came together.
I love what both of you said. Nichole, what I extracted and what really resonates with me is your desire to be authentic and to bring your core values into your um, relationships with your clientele. And that determines who you choose to work with and who you don't work with. And then Vonne, I loved how you talked about um, it was giving your all and how you can make anything happen. The resilience. Um, I often think because again, my background is wealth management. I was a FINRA licensed um, individual, and I always thought, wow, I'm putting in all this effort to build someone else's dream. Even though I don't like how this company is treating Black and brown folks, even though I know that Black and brown folks are being excluded from even being here or being clients, even though um, they are contributing to people who don't like the LGBT or Black and brown folks. And so there was this conflict, and that's what's pushing me toward entrepreneurship. So I really connect to what both of you said in your heart, and that's thank you so much for sharing. So we're talking about you all in your business ownership, but I have a question. Since you two are life partners, how do you navigate business ownership and your personal relationship? Because you have, multiple businesses, and those demands can often, kind of, it's demanding. You don't just work a 9 to 5, you work until things get done.
Mhm.
So, Nichole, I'd like for you to start with that.
I laugh because I wish that you guys can be a fly on our um uh at the core of it, we are really good friends. We are really good friends. And I'm a crybaby, so you might get a tear or two. Um I I think we are both in a space where we respect who we are individually, and we respect who we are as a couple. We've both been in managerial positions. We've both been in high paying jobs. So we've both had employees. And so we know that boundaries are needed and boundaries are essential. I give Vonne her space for her business, whether it's making a decision or not. Um, I ask if I can help rather than just helping. And I also respect her. Oh my God. South Park just ran in my head. I respect her authority. Um, but but I respect her decisions when it comes to her business, and I also respect her um, if she has any type of input that she wants to give me. And I think that, beyond anything else, is the reason why we get along so well and we're able to help each other, because she gotta deliver some flowers sometime. I mean, if I don't have anyone to do it, she has to do it. And if she needs a assistant every now and then, then I do that for her. So respect and space and friendship is the core of how we deal with that.
Yeah, I agree. Um, you know, and the other thing, when you're talking about relationships, we've also both been married before. So that has a lot to do with how we handle our relationship now. Um, I too respect, Nicole's knowledge. I am like in awe of what she knows, learning from her parents, because both of them were entrepreneurs. They both had, businesses. Um, and so there's a lot of history there, and there's a lot of experience there. I'm in a service industry, so I have to respect, hmm, I get to respect her knowledge of clients or customers and sales. I don't sell. I didn't I have very little experience in retail. So, but being mostly service based industry, and who I am on the planet, if she says, "Hey, you got to go deliver these flowers for me. This is the address," or "Hey, you got to go drop this food off because I need to do X, Y, and Z," or "because I need to do X, Y, and Z for you." All right, cool. I got you. I'm going to deliver these flowers or go pick up whatever I need to pick up. And we just really kind of play off of each other like that. Um, and at the core of our relationship, it's really just random. Like there's never a dull moment. There's never a dull moment. Hashtag random. That's us. I'm telling you right now. No, anything could pop off at any time. I'm telling you, like something could jump from over here in this hotel room to over there, and that's just kind of how our life goes. So there's never a dull moment. We're always laughing with each other. Um, there's jokes all the time. But we also really help each other unpack our stuff. Like she is my best friend. I talk to Nichole about things that I don't talk to nobody about. Nobody. And I didn't know that existed. I don't hide things from her. Well, except surprises, birthdays and stuff like that, or cruises. I hide those things. But if it's funky, but she got to know. She has to know. We live in the same house. And if it's funky, it's going to come up somewhere. And I just don't want her to have any surprises. And, we just talk about everything.
Yeah.
May I ask, how long have you two been together?
5 years.
5 years.
All right. I asked that because I just want to encourage those who are watching. It is possible to be in a long-term relationship under the LGBT umbrella, and it is possible to be an entrepreneur, successful entrepreneurs. I just want to say that because many of our people, again, suffer discrimination, housing insecurity, issues getting jobs. It does not always have to be this way. We have to open our minds and broaden our thoughts. And so I love having you two as an example of possibilities. So as we think of, as we imagine the world, we can also reimagine ourself, our place, our relationships in this world.
That's perfect.
Yeah, yeah. I was so enamored with you both. And just listening to you, I was like, man, that's such a beautiful dance, right? This is a beautiful dance, right? So I want that. No. And I know it's there for me. I know it's gonna happen. But
Absolutely.
I love hearing about how you serve each other. And so really that, at the core of it, it is service one to another,
Yeah.
right? That's a beautiful love language right there. And so thank you so much for sharing that, sharing your dance with us. We so appreciate it. We so appreciate it. So moving forward, we are LGBTQ faith leaders of African descent, and so of course the faith component is vitally important to any conversation that we have. And so what we would like to know is, about your spirituality, how your spirituality played a role, perhaps in the maybe in the start of your business, or how what are your spiritual practices that help anchor you as you continue your entrepreneurial journey?
You want to go first?
So in the how my spirituality definitely had a very strong hand in stepping out on faith and going towards my business. Um, I do practice IFA, and I was a Christian for many years, and I took what I learned there and, of course, elevated into IFA, and I give everything to my Ori. I give everything to my ancestors and my guidance and my spiritual godmother. And just being able to tap into that and listen to the universe and myself. Um, I don't think I could have done it any other way. I don't think I could have done it any other way. Knowing that there is a God and knowing that you are of service or giving service, no matter your walk in life, and there is a place for you, and that place is, you can follow it as long as you tap into that energy and tap into your ancestors and ask for guidance. 100%.
Yep. So I begin my day with gratitude and prayer, and I end my day with gratitude and prayer. And I express gratitude all day long. Um, and I do follow the teachings of Jesus Christ. My goal when I step out onto the planet is that I lead with love, like Jesus did. Um, I'm very careful about floating the word Christian out there. Uh, and this is just my opinion, not like I'm right. But Christians get a bad rap. Christians are scary. This last administration of Christians was nothing like what I read in about Jesus. So I again I use the term Christian very lightly, but I always want to lead with love. I always want to be in service. I always want to be love on the planet, and help as many people as I can. And again, it all comes down to gratitude. I'm expressing gratitude every, like, all day long is always a thank you, a thank you. And it can be thank you for anything, and inside of the thank you and the gratitude is the manifestation of the next thing, right? The next level, all right? The next client, the next person that I can help, right? When I decided that I wanted another partner, because I didn't want another one. I'm good out here doing what I'm doing. And and I said, okay, you know what? Let me stop playing, because the fact of the matter is that I really do want a partner for life. That's what I want. And I want her to I want her to be authentic in who she is. I want her to understand her worth. I want her to be healed. I'm okay if she's a divorcee. I'm okay with that. Um, I want her to be loving and also be grateful, right? And I would also appreciate it if she wasn't too hard on the eyes. And that's exactly what I asked for. And that's exactly what I got. And so, standing in gratitude and manifestation, which all comes from spirit, right? Again, I don't do what I do thinking that I'm doing it myself. I'm very clear about where any of this comes from, right? When I do my talks on Saturday mornings, that does not come from me. I'm clear that it comes from a higher power, a power that is definitely more intelligent, all knowing, all everything, way more than I could ever be. And I give God credit for that. It's not me. Me ain't that smart.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, that's where it stops. And even though I step into different conversations with different kinds of people, it always comes back to the source.
I love how the divine is the source for both of you. How Nichole talked about the ancestors and connecting with the divine within, the divine voice within, listening to herself. And then Vonne, through Thanksgiving, through gratitude, through appreciation, manifesting. Those are powerful tools. I love that. That's those powerful tools are definitely something that we, the audience, we, a different part of the community, can definitely glean from you. Thank you for sharing that. I believe that God gives us, at least for me, who I call God gives us the desire, but also the power to accomplish, the power to want greater, and then the power to manifest it. So this is very powerful and near and dear to my heart. Again, because some of us and some of our audience members may not have hope that they can accomplish. So again, you're an example, and we are an example of what is possible. Thank you.
Can I just add something to that? Yeah. So thank you both. I often tell our young people, we talk about the divine, right? And we talk about the divine's attributes, right? If we believe that we are created by the divine, then we must also believe that we have the divine's attributes. And, and some of those attributes are to create. We manifest things. We manifest things with our mouths or our minds. We make things with our hands, right? We when we speak, when we think, like, the universe has no choice but to meet us at the level, at the place where we are manifesting. And so I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for spirit and for how spirit leads us and guides us and helps us to navigate this entrepreneurial journey, right? And that hope thing that you talked about, RJ, Listen, that is the hope, knowing that one, we get it from the source, right? And because we get it from the source, that the source will always be our resource, right? We will always have everything that we need to do what we are called to do on the earth. So anyway, I'm shutting up. That was just, that whole thing was just good. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing.
My next question, you all lead full lives, you have businesses, you're in a partnership. I'm sure you do other things. What in your life are you most proud of? I want Vonne to initially to be the first to respond to that. What are you most proud of? It could be accomplishments, milestones, self-development, freedom, which you mentioned early. What are you most proud of?
I am most proud that I kind of get to move like I want to move. Now, don't get it twisted. You know, I have about 300 or so bosses, okay, that I work for. So it's not like I don't answer to anyone. But if I want to answer, I'm not confined to New York City doing what I do. You know, I can kind of move around move around and do what I need to do, and still serve everybody that I serve. Even if I'm outside of the country, I still get to do my work. And that is kind of that's the thing that I'm the proudest of. You know, I asked for that. I asked for this life. I don't know if Nichole knew that she was going to get kind of caught up in it, but like I asked for it, and it manifested pretty quickly. And I'm very proud of the fact that I can kind of be wherever I am on the planet and do what I do. And I get to touch, move, and inspire people like from wherever I am. That does not mean that I don't get to go on vacation. It just means that I live my life kind of on a permanent vacation. And I like that. I'm very proud of that.
For me, I'm just grateful for the chance to be to be out of the box. And I know it sounds really like cliche again, but understanding, I think when people begin to understand their power and that they can, when you reach to the level of actually understanding that you can create, it supersedes your personal life and goes into everything else that you touch. Your friends, your family, you could create the relationships that you want, and you could create the places that you want to be, where you want to be, and you could create the jobs that you want to have. You could create the relationship with loved ones, as in a spouse. You have a good hand in that, and I think being able to think that everything is limitless to myself is one of the biggest things, biggest gift, and biggest accomplishments that I have right now.
Ooh, I was busy talking. Limitless. Oh my gosh. I'm so. We're going to have y'all back because this is
Not a problem. You just say the word.
it is such it's so rich, the dynamic between you both, and how both of you is so in harmony with each other, and even how, you know, in the words that you speak, and very different, but that thing, that glue that holds you together, it's, oh yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. One of the things that's important for us to kind of talk about, and I know we are heading towards the hour, and so we're almost done, but and then we've talked about this before, Vonne, in another program. how Black entrepreneurs in particular are challenged with the lack of support from our communities, right? Um, and so I want to hear from both of you why, we have our own ideas about why this is, but I want to hear from both of you. Why do you believe that we are so challenged with getting support from our own communities? And what do you think we can do about it? So I'm going to ask Vonne first and then Nichole.
That's a loaded question. I'm not sure, and I'm not convinced that it's all the community. Let me explain.
Mm-hmm.
If Gucci or Louis Vuitton wasn't expensive, because they started off expensive, they didn't they started out being the top of the line. They started out knowing that there was some value and that their product had some worth. The thing that we do is that we give it away, we discount it, we cut the price in half. Nichole doesn't let me do that. And we make it affordable. But now just stay with me, okay? I hear affordable. I do. I hear that so that people can have access. But also when we discount ourselves, because that's what we're doing. We're discounting our product or service. We're discounting the knowledge. We're discounting the blood, the sweat, and the tears that we have gone through in order to get where we are, which is why I emphatically stand on my soapbox and I tell people, do not, under any circumstances, fix your mouth to ask me for any more discounts. You're not getting them. I don't need your business, because I understand finally what my worth is. That I study this stuff all year long, not just between January and April the 15th, right? I'm studying business all year long. So if I had to really chop all that down and narrow it all down into what my time and what my knowledge is worth, and the mistakes and the fines that I've had to pay because I made mistakes because I didn't know any better. But thank God, because I learned, right? It was expensive, but I learned. Is that, once I pull it down to the minute, my time is worth something like $64.35 a minute or something like that. A minute. The time that I put in to learn what I need to know to serve people is not discounted, because I don't know anybody in my circle. Nope, let me take that back. None of my clients are doing that same research. You people, and I'm not you two, but people as entrepreneurs are not doing the research. And that's why they get themselves in trouble. So yes, you're going to pay me for what I know. You're going to pay me to get you out of your mess. And if you don't want to, that's okay. But I bet you, even still, that I'm still cheaper than Schwartz down on 42nd Street. And I look like you. And I talk like you. And I've been where you've been. And I know your experience. So you're paying me for that too. So it's not that we don't support other businesses, that we can't grow, but we got to start with who we are. I never ask anybody for a discount. How dare I ask somebody? How dare I ask Sue for a discount? She built my website, as a matter of fact. How dare I ask her? And it's beautiful. I love it. It's functional. It works. I don't have to do nothing. How dare I ask her for a discount? Never. So it's not necessarily about how we roll with each other. because we're gonna dead the conversation of that's my man's and them. No, we're gonna stop that. This is a business owner who has a product or service that you need or want. Pay them for it, because what I do know is that you'll take yourself down to Macy's and pay whatever they ask you for, and you ain't asking them for no discount.
Come on.
You don't walk into Gucci and ask them for no discounts. You don't. So stop it. And that's all I got to say about that. I'm going to step down off my soapbox now.
How can I follow that back up?
I'm sorry.
Follow that up.
I'm sorry.
I
baby.
can't follow that up.
You taught me a lot of that. My bad.
I agree with Vonne. We have, I just hate hearing that we don't support each other. It is not true. It is one of the biggest myths.
Come on, baby.
Around.
That's right.
It's one of the biggest myths that we don't support each other. And it's like, I don't know why we hear it, or when we're in spaces or when you're in Facebook groups, you just hear it. And let me tell you something. I've worked with every race. Cheap don't have a race. Cheap don't have a race. People that don't value work don't have a race. I have encountered them in every race. They just go about it different. And the core of it is that when we become entrepreneurs, we expect our family and friends to support us. And we have to come to the realization, as much as we get support sometimes, our family and friends are not our customers. They're not our clients. It's a hard pill to swallow at times. And yet, why? But they could just support us. I get it. But suppose they don't like your product. Suppose they're not in the space to appreciate your product. If we stop expecting our friends and our family to support us and really concentrate on what we're doing and who our avatars are and who is your client? What do they look like? What do they go to college? Are they a CFO? Are they a janitor? Who are they? Once you start concentrating on that and selling to that person, or you will get your clients, you will get your customers, and it might be your friends and it might be your family and it may not. We don't have to expect them to support our business. Yes, have a helping hand every now and then. That's great friends, period. And you will find those people. You will find your tribe that when you are in a struggle and you say, hey, I need help, they're there. It's not always going to happen, but such is life, But I believe 100% that we do support each other and that we do buy from each other and we come back again and buy from each other and we share each other's craft. If that was true, you wouldn't hear about half of these businesses out here. And they're thriving. There's Black business out here thriving, and not thriving at the hands of only white or brown people, but Black people, period. So let's stop telling ourselves this myth that Black people don't support each other, because they do.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And one of the things that came up for me is that it's really about the client, right? It's finding your client. It's finding the right client for you, right? And so that is a lesson that I've been learning since 2020, right? About finding my right client. I'm still looking for the right client. Still looking for it, right? Still looking for them, because I don't like to say to someone that needs my services, but don't have the budget. I don't like saying no to them, right? And so I'm trying to find other language. Well, okay, well here's what, well what here is what you can have for what you can afford, or so I'm always trying to find. I've learned not to lower my, because I used to do that in the beginning. I would give a discount off the top, like I would just new client discount. That has got me in so much trouble with some of those same clients, right?
So
So
I don't mean to interrupt you,
mhm,
but there was one thing that I heard, and I have to tell you about it because it will put you on a different level. If you if you cannot afford to give it away for free, you shouldn't discount it.
that's good.
Yep. Charge a
That's
price
good.
or
If
give it
you
away.
cannot look at that person that is asking you for the discount and give it away without no feelings whatsoever, you shouldn't be giving it.
Okay, that's good. Charge your fee. Listen, whew, this is so good. Okay, go ahead, Ryan.
We are closing because we are nearing that we're a little bit over time. So I'm gonna skip to the last question. And what message do you have for our listeners? Um, whether it's about your business, whether it's about you as a woman business owner, or about your relationships, what final message would you like to leave um, our listeners with? You all, like, I love that. Again, this is Women's History Month, and you represent to me Black excellence, Black joy, Black power, Black love, all of that encompassed right here. I am in awe, and I'm inspired to make moves. And if I'm inspired, I'm sure somebody out there who is watching is also inspired and now has new hope. What's your message? Go ahead, Nichole. Why don't you go ahead and respond first?
Have fun. That's what it is for me. Have fun. Like, tomorrow is not promised to anyone. Do it and have fun. That is legitimately my guidance for anyone. Like, take everything that you know, and everything that every no you got, every reason you got to not do what you want to do, and kick it to the corner and go for it and have fun. Balls to the walls. Hello. Balls to the walls.
I love it. I love it. So my last words are: give everything 100%. Give it 120%. In relationships, we like to go 50-50. Nope. 100. You give 100%, I give 100%, and we don't give and take in this relationship. So when you approach your relationships, my offer is that you give and give. And when you give and you give, then nobody ever feels slighted. There's no reason to ever have to take. I'm always giving, she's always giving. And we never feel like, one is getting more than the other one or any of that. And we give each other 100%, 100% of ourselves every single day, every single minute, even when we're not together. She's, doing her thing and I'm doing my thing. We still giving each other 100%. And give your business your 100%. Like, and how you do any one thing is how you do everything. So if you're giving your business 50%, I already know you're giving your relationship 50%. I already know you're giving your kids 50%. I already know that you're giving everything 50%. Give everything 100%. You don't have anything to lose. There is nothing to lose. Nothing. So use your time wisely. Give everything 100%. Go for it. Forget about failing. Failing is a lesson. It's not a loss. It's a lesson. Learn so you can go ahead and get to your millions or whatever you want. You know what I mean? Yep. 100%.
Yes.
Let's go.
Well, thank you. I'm going to make this. Sue, would you like to say anything before I close?
No, I'm just so appreciative for Nichole and Vonne coming on and blessing us and blessing our listeners. And we will definitely have you back. We want to get more into. I think we want to look at the relationship thing more, and help others, right? Those who are in relationship and those who are happen to be, maybe both of them are entrepreneurs, or one is an entrepreneur and the other one isn't. So, that looks like sounds like some good conversation to look forward to. So, but thank you again.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us and just for being so open and transparent. You have truly healed someone.
We pray.
Honestly,
We
you
pray
have
so.
healed someone
Mm.
tonight, and those who are going to catch us in the replay. So thanks again, and thank you for having me on, Ryan. For thank you for having me join you, hang out with
Thank
you
you for
on the front end tonight.
Thank you, Sue. Thanks for moderating. But I also want to extend a hearty thank you to Vonne and Nichole and Vonne, for sharing, for providing insights into who you are, what motivates you, what you do, and how you do it.
Mm.
Again, I'm inspired, and I'm sure our audience is inspired. And I just want to say before we leave, audience, the majority do fit under the LGBT umbrella. There is hope for a better today, for a better tomorrow. So dream, so love, so embrace the divine and the divine within.
Mm.
There is hope for you to win, succeed, and be the person who you desire to be. Design your life like these ladies have. So I want to say thank you for joining us for March's edition of FLoAD Communications. Make sure to join us next month in April. We look forward to seeing you. Have a wonderful evening, and God bless.